watch it. I want to know the drama. Well, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Paleontology. What the fuck is it? Paleontology. It's about paleontology. What, I'm not going to send my fucking politics people into dinosaur bones.
Like the House of Lords.
Oh!
Let's see. Just go away.
There we go. Right. Oh, I'll do it over there. Sweet. Stop with Phil House. Nice one, John. Yeah. Bunks, I love you. That fucking kicks ass. Davinia! Rejoice, comrades. Davinia Robbins in the chat. Hello, darling. I'm just going through my notifications for Discord. I've let them build up over for nearly 6 hours. Yeah. Rejoice. Laptop cooler. Thanks, Jim. God, I miss that pen so much. Hi. Can you hear it? I can turn it down a bit. It's a wheel. Kev. Oh, yeah. Nah. Ach, go away. Yeah, that'll be arsed. Oh, yeah, my chat. Bring up the chat. Trying to think of what ones would be on a knife edge here. There is too many to cover in 2 weeks now because I've been a bit lax and reading up on some of the ones that are probably pretty safe, most of the constituencies at least. I'm trying to think what ones might be on a knife edge and we'll just concentrate on that. Or we can go for ones where, because we can maybe do Russell's. Give me a minute. We could maybe do Russell's one. That'd be fun. Let's see what constituency Russell Finley has. Russell Finley. Yes, that wank. Mr. E! Hello, Mr. E. Hello, you wank. Oh, I thought he was constituency. He's in the same regional list as Ross. Let's see Gillian. Let's try Gillian. Oh, fuck off. She's 12 years younger than me. Fuck. Oh, she's list as well. 11th of August. Interesting. Alex Cole Hamilton's list as well. Is the whole fucking list? Other than... Well, Malcolm Offord doesn't have one yet because he's just running. 20 is a constituency. Ross's list, Gillian's list, Russell Finley's list, Alex Cole Hamilton's list, Anas's list. Fuck, yeah. They're all list. Except Swinney. Curious. Oh. Fucking amazing. Say thank you to Story Girl, everyone. This thing is fucking awesome. And the RGB is cheering me up. It looks pretty. Now, if I could, I'd have it permanently set on bisexual colours. Because, obviously. It's fucking awesome. Love it, love it. It's got like... Oh, where is... What did I do with it? Give me a minute. Oh god, I put it up there. Give me a second, everyone. Yeah. That's it. Right. You just go there a second. Was it covered again? Ha. If I know how to do my angles correctly, I've got this set at a 33-degree angle and the laptop sitting on top of it. So right, here, foam and magnetic backing. So the laptop's sitting on this sort of memory foam thing for it, and it is not moving at all. This thing is awesome. So it's just a bit around the edge because this is a 17 point something inch laptop. It's one of the larger ones. Right, got there. It's fucking amazing. Love it. And unlike all the previous ones I've had, this one actually plugs in. All the other ones ran off the battery of the laptop. Maybe that's why it was so fucking loud. And I couldn't regulate them properly. Used to on 7. This one's large, but it's not that weighty, oddly enough. This is an i7. I thought it was an i9. I was incorrect. It's an i7, but it's really decent. 2 terabytes. The graphics card is ass. No, like up until the 6th of May, Lies of P is half price. But with the help of Specs and Red Rust, tech experts that I ask questions of, yeah, I can't do games like that. So all your AAAs, even the ones just below your AAA rated games, there is no point recommending them to me. This will not be able to cope with it. I will go through Steam and find out what ones I can do, because I've got Oxygen not included, Valheim, BG3, Deathloop. I've just I checked earlier on, King of the Castle won't run either, unfortunately. I've managed to get to the title screen, get everything set up, then brought it in through crowd control, and my stream froze and my laptop froze. So buying King of the Castle, yeah, it's just going to sit in my library forevermore. Oh dear. Rejoice! It's the Morton in the chat. Nerd. I am subscribed to the National because they've got good coverage. Big Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Welcome. Huh. Trying to think of where. Oh God, where's Dan? Give me a minute. I'll see if I can coax someone. Dan. Oh, fuck off with streamer mode. Annoying the fuck out of me. Dan? Can you see him? What are you doing? Ah, fuck it, he's down here. Oh, come on. There we go. I have DM'd Comrade. Dan, by the way, Dan Abu Laith. Let's do... Right, where are we? Oh, that one might actually be quite important. This one has been glomped together from two different constituencies, one of which was held by Nicola Sturgeon. So it's a rather large one, the other side of the river. Doing that way. About 4.5–5 miles away from where I currently sit. Well, the river is. This one's about 7 miles away from me. As the crow flies, just go straight south from me. Reform are apparently competitive here. Rather terrifying. Hello, Reza Lindsay. Rejoice, Northeast Comrade, in the chat. How's it going, Reza? Great to see you. Can't look at the bottom. I don't blame you. I don't play the game that is 20 years plus older than Flow Snake, rejoice. There is a flow snake in the chat. Hello. I don't think we need to cover question time because Kev done a rather good job of it. Which is good. Thank you, Kev. Your service is appreciated in saving me my voice. Having to yell at fucking Anas. Or, well, that sly little giggle that you've done. Oh, God. You're a detestable bastard, Anas. If I could guarantee you losing, I would fucking jump for joy. Difficult. Anas's list. Don't get me wrong, there is ways to get people not on it, to get right, they're at the top of the... So the party comes up with the list of who they want. So I don't know how many is on the list for Labour here in Glasgow for the region. It's either 5 or 6, something like that. And Anas is at the top because he's the party leader. Like, he's crept up the Labour list for the Glasgow region over the years, essentially. I think he was sitting somewhere around 3rd or 4th for most of the time that he's been in Holyrood. I think he was 3rd when Richard Leonard was the leader up here. Oh, hydrate. I just read your announcement, my dear. Rejoice, everyone. Super mod. That is better. Ah, that's good. Sunderland is fucked. Don't mince your words, Reza. Fucking hell. Fingers crossed Newcastle and South Shields go green. I'm sick of the reform law fucking tossers. Well said, Reza. Well said. Yeah, go Newcastle and South Shields. Fucking do it. If we can grab something out of that and Sunderland going... Why the fuck is Sunderland going reform? Sunderland, what are you doing? Fuck. Shall we begin? Nicola Sturgeon's former seat should remain in SNP hands. But like I said, some of the polls are suggesting that Reform are competitive in this new, rather large constituency. The other side of the river. Let's read this. Hello, Nicola. orangey red. Orangey red. The SNP took 60% of the vote in Glasgow South Side 5 years ago, only a smidgen below their highest of 62% in Dundee City West. Dundee's SNP. Dundee is very SNP. Very. In most circumstances, that would be enough to put beyond all dispute that they would hold the seat this time, but our three potential snags. The more time I talk, the more Labour votes goes. Yeah. That's what I don't get. There's people who vote for them up here. Said you do realise they fucking despise us. Especially the Tories. Even though quite a lot of them have got Scottish ancestors. Some of them are fucking Scottish, for Christ's sake. Like David Mundell and Alistair Jack. They were actually born and brought up here. I see them as traitors to their homeland. With any fucking luck, David Mundell will lose his seat at the next general election anyway. Ha. In most circumstances, that would be enough to put beyond all dispute that they will hold the seat this time, but there are three potential snags. Fingers crossed. Your lass is working on it, don't worry. Most obviously, their national vote share has dropped significantly since 2021. Even in the last week's YouGov MRP poll, which was more favourable to the SNP than any conventional poll in the campaign so far, there's a 7-point slippage on the constituency ballot because you fucking grouped it with Cathcart. Sorry, Cathcart. I do apologise, but quite a lot of the people who live down there are Tories. It's kind of posher. Oh, don't you worry. Your lass will be covering it. It doesn't look like they'll get constituencies, which is first past the post. The other unionist parties, other than the Tories, in a few key constituencies, the other unionist parties do better in the constituency vote, so Reform can't really penetrate that yet, unfortunately. They'll probably hoover up lots of list seats, basically taken over from where the Tories have fucking nosedived off a cliff. I don't know why they're fucking doing that, because most of the ones who have joined, like, it doesn't matter where they are across the UK, they're former Tories who've jumped ship because they can see that the Tory party is basically fucking a wreck sitting nearly at the bottom of the ocean, the political ocean that is. It's good to see the Tories die, don't get me wrong, woohoo, long time coming, fucking deserved. But with Reform, basically Tories 2.0. Oh. What was the Discord ID thing about? I'm not, oh, someone didn't, the Discord ID, someone didn't know what, I think, I can't, yeah. Secondly, the high SNP vote share in Southside was inflated by Nicola Sturgeon being the candidate, quite possibly. Big Brother. Oh, and thirdly, the constituency being contested in May is a reimagined version which no longer contains areas along the river such as Tradeston, Plantation and Cessnock. Have they taken out Plantation? Fuck, I didn't realise that. So they are literally, like, Tradeston, Plantation and Cessnock are all right on the riverbank. They literally got built out. Tradeston's basically lots of warehousing and trade shops and things like that. They're under the railway bridge essentially. So, and Tradeston's got lots of like offices and shit like that. Don't get me wrong, there's people who live in Tradeston. Those houses are rather expensive. And Plantation's the same. Can you tell how it got its name? Glasgow's history is it's called the Merchant City. The part of the city centre is called the Merchant City for a reason. Pretty sure we stole a fuck ton of marble to build the fucking area. And Cessnock's basically a working class area where a lot of dock workers used to live, because there was docks all along the Clyde. Not so much now. Thirdly, the constituency being contested in May is a reimagined version which no longer contains areas along the river such as Tradeston, Plantation and Cessnock, and has expanded into the south by taking the bulk of Langside local government ward away from the old Cathcart seat. No. What the fuck? Give me a minute. Oh fucking hell. How did I get into this? If I just go into the actual chat like I'm just a viewer, I don't think I can auto mod. I don't think I can fix shit. I need to go behind the scenes. And it won't let... Fuck it, I'll try. Give me a minute. Yes, go to my channel. There we go. I am there. Behind the scenes. And it won't let... Fuck it, I'll try. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, can you see it? Damn. Let's see if this works. Moment, please. We'll get back to the story in a minute. I'm sure she's doing okay, Reza. I'm sure she is. Oh, John! How's the revolution going in Scotland? What the... What? What strike? Show me what strike. Oh! 5 days, didn't it? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I know, I know. Fine, fine, fine. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Fine. Yeah, I know that. Right. Boom. Oh. Okay. Alright. Oh. Hmm. Go. Built-in webcam. Oh. Oh my god. Ooh. Oh my god, I've actually got it to work. Show me your papers. There we go, we've got everyone. So I'm now live on YouTube, thank fuck for that. Hello, hello. Okay, even before the boundary revision, Southside contained sharp socio-economic contrasts. Yeah. With affluence in significant parts of Pollock Shields and entrenched poverty in the Gorbals. Yeah. And oh god, Govan Hill. I keep on forgetting Govan Hill exists. It's one of the most deprived, like this is, I would say this is one of the most deprived areas of Glasgow, with places like Govan Hill and other parts of the south side just as deprived as here as, I will say, Springburn, because it covers enough. It gives me a sort of shield, essentially, of where I am. Yeah, we're really deprived up here. We need the funding. Some of the housing here is still whack. It needs fixed. Yes. Oh, chat. Vote green. Vote green. The introduction of the Langside ward bolsters the number of better off voters, middle class essentially, because Kings Park, Battlefield and Langside enjoy somewhat higher income levels. Middle class and upper middle class essentially, so we're talking middle management essentially. Yeah. It's not clear that this makes any difference at all to the balance of power between the SNP and Labour. Yeah. But it probably does boost the Greens, who tend to perform best among progressively minded middle class voters. They've also got a lot of working class people here like me. Well, I'm essentially educated and left wing, so that's why Scottish Greens for me. In the last council elections in 2022, the Greens took a healthy 28% of the first preference vote in Langside. So it's ranked choice 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. That's how you get your councillors here for Glasgow City Council. Which left them in a strong second place. Ooh, that's something to look out for next year. Nice one. YouTube. Ah, fuck. Thanks, Flow Snake. Around 4.5 points behind the SNP, which is decent, I guess. Langside will also make one of Scotland's most ethnically diverse constituencies a touch less diverse. Yeah. At the time of the 2022 census, 87% of the residents of Langside were white. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being white. You can't choose how you're born. But yeah, but some people are really white, if you get my meaning, get my drift. I'm white, I'm pale as fuck. You can see that. I don't class myself as middle class, I'm working class. My mum was a nurse and a midwife. As far as I'm concerned, that's working class. Both my sisters, working class jobs. My younger sister, a nurse. My middle sister worked in a trade union, then the TUC. Yeah, 87% of the residents in Langside were white, a much higher proportion than elsewhere in the south side. However, the impact of that shouldn't be overstated, because the main centres of the South Asian and Muslim communities have been mostly left unaffected by the boundary alteration. So that's cacao. The Pollock-Shields ward, which remains wholly within the constituency, is 35% non-white, 28% Asian, 24% Muslim, and 24% Muslim. The Southside Central ward, which is predominantly staying inside the seat, is 37% non-white, 26% Asian, and 22% Muslim. As many as 15% of the people in the two wards were born in Asia or the Middle East. Or Western Asia, if you wish. That adds up to a formidable Asian and Muslim segment which could potentially play a decisive role if its voting patterns are distinctive due to anger over Labour inaction on Gaza. Labour inaction on the Gaza genocide, the invasion of Lebanon and the attacks on Iran. The Green Party of England and Wales showed in Gorton and Denton by-election that Greens are perfectly capable of winning over the Muslim vote in certain circumstances. And quite a lot of circumstances. National, just saying. Thank God the journals are not mad. Correct, yes. Apparently he demanded the codes to do a preemptive, no, like an attack, an actual attack, not a defensive strike. An initial attack. You need to get he needs to get two other people. So that's why he's been firing generals left, right, and centre, because he can't get the nuclear codes. The Green Party of England and Wales showed in the Gorton and Denton by-election that Greens are perfectly capable of winning over the Muslim vote in certain circumstances. Fair enough. Crucially, in that case, they were ideally positioned as the most electorally credible pro-Palestine option available. Have good then. In Glasgow Southside, the same advantages held by the SNP are also held by the fact that Sturgeon's successor as candidate is the Minister for Equalities and incumbent MSP for Glasgow Kelvin. Cacao Stewart, originally from Pakistan, she has spent much of her life in Pollock-Shields. Nice one. The buzz around the challenge to Stewart posed by the Green candidate Holly Bruce should also be tempered by the fact that Greens were not the leading party in any of the constituencies' wards in the 2022 council elections. Apart from their close second place in Langside, they were more than 8 points behind the SNP in Pollock-Shields. Okay. Oh God, poor doggo. 8 points behind SNP and Pollock-Shields, where they also trailed Labour by around a point. Okay. In Southside Central, there were 16 points. Fucking hell, that's quite a distance. There were 16 points behind the SNP and 13 behind Labour. Estimates from the 2021 Holyrood election suggest the Greens were only third on the Third on the list ballot within the new boundaries of the Southside seat, taking 90% of the vote compared to Labour's 21 and SNP's 42. Oh, why did you do that to yourself, Jim? Blair Witch Project sucks ass. I paid money to go and see that in the cinema. I don't know why. Right, he hates found footage things like Blair Witch, Cloverfield and all those type of ones. Yeah, just ignore people when they say that about the Blair Witch Project. Just, nah, didn't bother. If you want recommendations, you know where to find me. Well done, Cacao, but looks like we're going to get the Equalities Minister back, which is good. I like Cacao, she's quite good. That's one of the seats the Greens are challenging in for the constituency. If he wants the codes, he shouldn't keep flicking news to come at the map in the situation while I'm shouting bank pow Spidey. What's it, keg's breath? Oh god, no. Whoops, wrong thing. That one. Oh, we're getting there. 10. We are 17 seats. Oh Christ. Let's see. I think most of them were relatively simple, be straight up fights essentially. Fuck it. I've still got family in Annie's Land. Oh. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Some refreshment. My niblet used to love the Twilight series. Then they grew up. Yes, Davinia. Mm. 2 years of Starmerism have likely killed Labour's hopes here. Annie's Land's pretty safe SNP territory. I know my family came from this area. This is where my dad grew up. This is where my granny grew up as well. That's my dad's mum and dad. Hello, Colm Merrick. Glasgow Annie's Land was represented by the architect of devolution, Donald Dewar. Yeah. During his brief period as First Minister from 1999 to 2000, he had also been the Westminster MP for the same constituency since 1997, and prior to that for the predecessor of Glasgow Garscaden, which is to the west of Annie's Land, going towards like Clydebank. All the way back to a by-election in 78, fucking hell, that marked a turning point in Labour's fortunes against the SNP. Then you saw part of the second film with a friend. Ow! Geez, second. Can't seem to get comfy tonight, I don't know why. My arse keeps on going numb. Rather annoying. Oh yeah, they're fucking awesome. We're meant to get 3 of those, by the way. We never got the 3rd one. Rather upsetting. But yeah, day watch and night watch are fucking awesome. Labour's surprisingly comfortable win in that by-election and in the Hamilton by-election of the same year was attributed to a newfound directness, or some might say hysteria, in painting the SNP as fuck off separatists. I hate this narrative so fucking much. Just because we want what's best for our country, we get called separatists and get equated to fucking terrorists as well. Yeah, I've not forgotten that, by the way, you bastards. We are not terrorists or separatists. We want independence, we want our own fucking country. We don't want to be tied to you bastards anymore. Because apparently you don't want what's best for us. And thus implying that we are not extremists. There's a well-known clip of Dewar addressing a public meeting during the campaign in which he predicted local voters would politely tell the SNP candidate to get lost. Fuck off, Donald. And you know, oh God. As if its opponents were an indecent force mingling in unwanted fashion among the good common folk. Yeah. That narrative is disgusting. And anyone who tries to perpetrate that is a despicable bastard. I know people praise Donald Dewar and everything, but you have to remember what these people are like. Some of the unionists, it's a bit more overt now, obviously, we can fucking see it. But back in the day it was insidious. The mind boggles then as to what Dewar's honest reaction would have been to the current state of affairs in his former constituency. He'd probably be quite shocked. And across the city of Glasgow, in which a genuinely extremist force, one that paints immigrants in the city as strangers who should not be looked after in the same way as indigenous Glaswegians, is now a major player in elections. The strategic response of the present-day Scottish Labour leadership is not to tackle extremism head-on in this way that they absurdly cosplayed as doing with the moderate centre-left SNP of the 70s, but instead to back off in fear of offending people who share Manfrog's views. Get wrecked, Manfrog. The Overton window has shifted far too much to the right because of that bastard. The most they can muster is to call reform noise or a distraction. You're pandering to them, which is needlessly get in the way of Anna Sauer's ambitions to be First Minister. That could be a dangerous game. It is a fucking dangerous game. There's every possibility that Labour are going to end up fucking fourth in this election. Get wrecked. Fucking deserved. Because the Westminster constituency of Glasgow West, the closest equivalent to the Holyrood seat of Annie's Land, saw Reform UK overtake the Tories in the 2024 general election to become the most popular right-wing party. Terrifying. What the fuck, Glasgow West? I'm trying to make out where the fuck he is. Where's the Lincoln Heights? Oh, he's facing towards the cross. I know where he is now. I've been trying to figure out with this fucking photograph. I've figured out where he's standing. That pattern was replicated right across the board in the Glasgow constituencies, even though at that point Reform were still a way short of the levels of national popularity that they have now reached. Bollocks. I think there's two. Huh. Right. The polls show that Reform are a much more potent threat to Labour's vote than to the SNP's. Yeah. Meaning that if the SNP hold Annie's land in 2 weeks, Sauer's failure to face down Farage could be a significant contributory factor. The good news for Labour locally is that Glasgow West was their best performance in the city in 2024, both in terms of swing they achieved from the SNP, fucking hell, 18%, and their margin of victory over the SNP, 16 points. The reasons for that can only be speculated about, but the area contains a strikingly polarised socio-economic mix, with affluent suburbs such as Jordan Hill existing side by side with severe poverty in places like The more deprived parts of Drumchapel aren't in that constituency. They're 3 miles from where that candidate is standing. No, 3. Yeah, it's about 2.5, 3 miles from where he's currently standing. Yeah, parts at Drumchapel are really quite deprived and they're not in that constituency. It is possible that well-off voters were following the established practice of their counterparts in the neighbouring constituencies just outside the city's boundaries by voting for the party best placed to defeat the SNP. Anti-nationalist tactical voting is a way of life up here for some people because they just really don't like the SNP, and independence terrifies them, so they keep on voting for unionist bastard parties who do not treat us with respect. While the most deprived voters may simply have been particularly likely to go home to Labour, I don't know why they treat us like crap. The former phenomenon is highly likely to be seen again at the Holyrood election in 2 weeks. But a repeat of the latter is much more doubtful after the disappointing experience of 2 years of Starmerism. Oh God, Bill Kidd. Hello, Bill Kidd. There is a relatively small adjustment of the Annisland constituency's boundaries taking place, with Thornwood coming in and Claythorne being removed. So they've shifted about half a mile into that bit. Lower middle class people, essentially, in that bit. Oh, thank you for being here, Flow Snake. Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Take your meds. Stay based. Free Palestine. And laugh at Anna Sarwar because finishing 4th. Good night, Flow Snake. I will catch you later. Bye bye. There was a relatively small adjustment of the Annisland constituency boundaries taking place, with Thornwood coming in and Claythorne being out, so they've brought it in a bit and extended it a little bit south and west. Taking in lower middle class area, essentially. And a cracking pub. That is thought to have very slightly strengthened the SNP's position. Yeah. With estimates suggesting their lead over Labour in the constituency in 2021 would have increased from 20 to 21 points. That's not much. Oh, you're welcome, Flow Snake. 21 points is still healthy. That leaves Labour needing to get within 5 points of the SNP nationally. No. If they're to gain the seat on a uniform swing, ain't gonna happen. Current polls show them falling well short of that. Yeah. Although the SNP's new candidate, Colin Merrick, who is replacing the incumbent Bill Kidd, bye Bill, will still need to be slightly wary of the danger of a higher than average local swing. It probably won't be that much. It probably won't be much of a swing from SNP to Labour. Let's see, taking in that bits off that bits in the main part of Annisland and that there. 6 points. I would guess, if anyone can remember, fuck it, I'll write it down. Give me a minute. Notepad. Pencil. Whoops. Oh. Line cream. Pencil. Pencil. Pencil, go there. There we go. I've written it down. So I'm guessing a swing of 6 points from the SNP to Labour in this seat. Oh my god, my one. The one I am now living in is new. It is new. Bye, Bill. We're losing a lot from all the parties. A lot of them are stepping aside. Some for not for being knackered or anything. Bill's been in the game for fucking years. He probably is knackered, and I didn't blame him. But a lot of the younger ones, for reasons that I don't want to say, because the person who I'd be saying them about, the people who I'd be saying this about, they don't have a right of reply, or they can't agree with me with what I'm saying. Maybe we could get Bryson to do that for us. The reason a lot of them are stepping down. Kate Forbes is leaving. She's made this public. She's stepping away from politics and going back home. She's Western Isles, essentially. She was a good finance minister. I liked her. Thought she'd done well. Her social policies, her social attitude, essentially, a bit grim. Especially for someone who's part of the rainbow. Let's see. Fuck it. let's cover the western half of what used to be my seat, what used to be my constituency. Yeah, it's a straight up fight between what the fucking phone's wrong. Nah, no way. Okay, right. Oh, right. The last frame drop was half an hour ago. That's fine. So yeah. It's a straight up fight between SNP and Green. The other half of the constituency. So parts of this used to be in the constituency that I live in, but it's not now. It's been chopped in half. And it's been extended where I now live to the east, to Easterhouse. So this is taking in a lot of the West End, essentially. Oh wow, this is Kelvin Grove Museum and Art Gallery. Hello, Kelvin Grove. The territory of the old Glasgow Kelvin seat, which has existed in one form or another since the Scottish Parliament's creation in 99, is being divided between no fewer than 4 constituencies. It's mad. And yet the SNP's incumbent, Cacao Stewart, we just saw her in the picture there, isn't standing in any of them. The sheer scale of the boundary revision in Glasgow triggered a complex game of musical chairs among the party's MSPs and other budding candidates. And Stewart opted to resolve part of the problem by running in the new version of Glasgow's South Side, basically taking over from Nicola's constituency, essentially, which does not overlap with her current constituency at all. It's about 1.5 miles to 2 miles away from the one she used to represent. Glasgow Kelvin and Mary Hill, which is the closest thing there is to a direct successor to Kelvin, on its back at its west end, down a bit from the Mary Hill part, essentially. Bloody cold tonight. Apparently, I don't know how, apparently it is 14 degrees here in Glasgow right now. Make it make sense, chat. That's just weird for like 1 AM. It's getting up to 19 degrees today, 20 degrees here in Glasgow. Global warming's fun. It's pissing Super Hubby off. He hates the hot weather. 4 degrees, oh god, that's a bit chilly. Make sure you're wrapped up warm, my dear. I don't want you getting cold. Right, will instead be contested for the SNP by Bob Doris, my former MSP, who for the last decade has been MSP for the Maryhill segment of the new constituency. Yeah. Do you have to yeah, oh god. Mr. E, I would urge you, if you can, to go green for your list. No pressure. You don't need to listen to me at all. If it won't dox you or anything, put in, if it's on that list, put in what constituency you're in, and we can read it. But if there's a real victim of the musical chairs, it's arguably the Scottish Green Party, because Glasgow Kelvin's former boundaries were demographically ideal for them. The constituency was to a large extent middle class, cosmopolitan and very youthful due to the inclusion of all 3 of the city's main universities. Glasgow, Strathclyde and Caledonian? No. The halls of residence for all three, yes, but not the unis. I didn't think we extended as far down as Cali. I knew it covered my university, so I went to Strathclyde, by the way. And I thought Glasgow was in another I thought that Glasgow Uni was in another constituency from ours, like the next one, just slightly to the south of this. That'd be weird. Look, the boundaries weren't that like that. I never covered Glasgow. Hmm. There are many places, but here is one where the split doesn't work. Oh, okay, right. No problem, mystery. In both 2016 and 2021, the former Green co-leader Patrick Harvey, praise be, based individual, tried his luck as a candidate on the constituency ballot and finished a strong second to the SNP with around 1/4 of the votes. He got damn close, in my opinion. Nearly got him as a constituency MSP, which would have been fucking awesome. Now that opinion polls are implying Green support has risen somewhat across the country, unchanged boundaries could have left the party with a sporting chance of pushing for outright victory in the seat this year. But instead, the local government ward of Anderston City in York Hill, oh god, containing the city centre, a vibrant, multi-ethnic and multicultural population, and 2 of the 3 universities has been transferred to New Glasgow Central. So the two universities that will be in Glasgow Central is my alma mater, Strathclyde, and Glasgow Caledonian, which are just down the road from me. Down there, down that way. Still left within Glasgow, Kelvin and Maryhill is the city's major student central zone of Hillhead. Yeah. Adjacent to Glasgow Uni. Not adjacent. You have to... The actual university itself is about a 10-minute walk from this student zone. Up a slight hill. Or depending on what way you come from it, down a slight hill, or across and slightly up a hill. The West End is weird. It's a series of hills. One major one, called Byers Road. Right, where the Greens have thrived in local council elections in recent times. Correct. However, by extending so far northwards into Maryhill and the surrounding areas, which include significant zones of deprivation, Rockhill, the constituency now takes in an entire council ward where the Greens picked up just 12% in both 2022 council and 2024 by-election. Indeed, in the latter contest, they slipped into 4th, ouch, behind Reform. It is estimated that, even on the list, the Green would have been in 3rd place in the new constituency at the 2021 election. A full 21 points behind the SNP, fucking hell. Even if all Green list voters could be relied upon to start backing the party on the constituency ballot, which is not the case, that still that may still underestimate the extent of the deficit because the SNP invariably perform better on the constituency vote. I think it's going to be a safe way. I love Iris. I really want her to become the MSP for Maryhill and Kelvin. I do. I really do. But I think Bob's going to win. Sorry, Iris, my dear. The Greens are also hampered by Patrick Harvey's decision to only stand on the list this year. His replacement as a constituency candidate is Iris Duane, who stood at the 2024 UK general election and is well known to Scottish political obsessive, but will be much less familiar. Scottish political obsessives? National, what the fuck, man? Who do you think reads your paper? Know your demographic. But will be much less familiar to the general public than Harvey was. Yeah. A good result for her might be to simply emulate Harvey by finishing a strong second, and both of the MRP projections of last week suggest she has a chance of achieving that. Find Out Now had her tied with Labour for second place, while YouGov had her 9 points clear of Labour. Oh, thank you, Mr. E. Stay hydrated. Self-care is good care. Get some sleep. Take your meds if you need to take any. Stay based. Free Palestine. And I will catch you later. Good night. I hope you have a good sleep. And I will catch you later on, Mr. E. I'd love that. Her finishing in second and 9 or 10 points ahead of fucking whatever Labour. Oh my god. No, he's running here. I don't know what one they're putting in Glasgow, Kelvin, Maryhill. Nah, I can't remember. Fuck. The prospect of yes supporting parties once again taking both first and second place represents a considerable achievement for the independence movement. Tell that to Westminster. Because in a parallel universe, this is exactly the sort of location that could easily have evolved into a Lib Dem fortress. It hasn't. Thank fuck. Somewhat akin to Alex Cole-Hamilton's patch in Western Edinburgh, the old Glasgow Hillhead constituency at Westminster was formerly Tory, but with Liberal leanings. It elected Roy Jenkins of the SDP Liberal Alliance as its MP in both 82 by-election and 1983 general election, and even as late as 1992 the Lib Dems were still a strong second place. Fuck knows why. By the way, Galloway was Hillhead. But of course, what makes this part of Glasgow so radically different from the west of Edinburgh is that it actually voted in favour of independence. Based. The Glasgow Kelvin constituency broke for yes by a margin of 52 to 48. Nice one. That leaves the Lib Dems surplus to requirements in modern times. And they barely even troubled the scorer locally in 2021. Yeah. Barring a major Labour recovery nationally... Composure, lass, please. Glasgow Kelvin and Maryhill look set to stay true to its constitutional preference by electing pro-independence MSP, and that person is likely, albeit not certain, to be Bob Doris. More than likely. Don't get me wrong, I want Iris to win this seat, I really do. But yeah, the more working class areas that are part of this seat, which is up a bit is coming towards me. Like parts of Rockhill and Maryhill are kind of deprived, mostly working class area. And yeah, they want independence, very pro independence, very pro SNP. They might have trouble with some of our policy positions in the Greens. We just need to educate, we just need to reach out more, I guess, and explain how these things are affecting everyone in our day-to-day lives, and how there are ways to mitigate those things or to radically make them better. Momentito. Dear God, your lass's legs are kinda fucked. Right. Ta-da! Oh, that's better. Stretch my legs out now. Oh, fuck for that. Right. What is wrong with you? Why you no work? Right, my throat is starting to feel a little bit, ow. I've covered the main ones that I usually work in, operate in: shop in, visit, blah blah blah. Especially the Kelvin and Maryhill ward. We go to the West End a fair bit, where there's really good shops. There is ethnic shops, and I like to get there's Asian ingredients that I want to put into our dishes, and there is 3 shops we can get to in the West End that we can get the stuff for them. Do. Haha! Bring it. I haven't brought up my actual Twitch one. What the hell? Oh, so close. Please feel free to subscribe to the Twitch or do bits messages. I will read out your bits messages as long as they're not too egregious. And please remember, TOS exists. Anything funny about politicians is probably fair game, within reason. I am not yet monetized on the YouTubes, because that takes forever, apparently. YouTube. Let's see if we can find anything connected to the Holyrood elections up here. We can be guaranteed with the National, obviously their podcast, but let's see if we can find anything else that we can react to. Like people in Westminster being wank. Fuck it. I will pinch from Helena. Oh god, I've got it muted, haven't I? Whoops.
What's happening in the local elections. And I did a...
Back to the beginning.
This is data that we now have in terms of the projections coming out from More in Common about what's happening in the local elections. And I did a piece about the projections from somebody else from about a month ago on Novara Media, and we were looking at the Green Party maybe about 400 seats maybe they were going to win at this election. The More in Common estimate more than doubles the previous projections that I was looking at in terms of how good the Greens are going to do during the local elections coming in May. And it says here, apparently, if this is to be believed, the Green Party could win over 1,000 seats. In fact, the upper bound is in like 1,700 seats as well. So there are plenty of scope. There's plenty of scope for the Greens absolutely obliterating Labour. This is not just going to be a blowout, this is going to be fining. For two reasons. First of all, because it means that people will realise the...
Bloodbath. Ha 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 ha. Electoral bloodbath. No violence, please, anyone. I beg of yous. So, electorally malkied. The Scots in the audience will know what I mean. They're gonna get a kicking. Deserved. Would you look at it? Look at it. Woof. Losing 1,738 seats. They're going to lose control of councils. That is delightful.
Greens aren't a protest vote anymore. We are a real opposition to Reform UK. And second of all, it will give the Green Party scrutiny. If we can do well running these councils, that's going to be a real boon to our chops politically moving forward, but could also be a real double-edged sword if councils start doing bad things. So, we shall have to see about how competent these councils end up being, But this is a really, really good sign, because I did not think at all we would be winning over 1,000 seats, and it looks like that could go even higher. The fact that we might be snapping at the heels of Reform in terms of overturned seats here, very unexpected, incredibly unexpected. So now is the time to go out and canvass and make sure that you're speaking to people and get them to understand that the Green Party are on the rise and they don't have to vote Labour. Probably really bad for Labour that all the Mandelson stuff is happening right now, just before the locals, and that's going to damage a bunch of probably pretty hard-working councillors from the Labour Party, and they're going to get replaced by dullards from Reform.
Really bad that this is happening now, right now? People in the media, like hacks and journal wankery like that, and possibly civil servants who don't like what's happening and them getting the blame for some shit, they might be leaking to the press. No, this is calculated. I'm sure someone's orchestrated this happening right now. That's just my own crack theory there. Do not give it any fucking heed. Take a massive amount of salt with that, because it's just my theory. But it seemed, it's not a coincidence. No. This all seems very, maybe not completely orchestrated, but definitely planned and into a certain, after a fashion at least, in my opinion again. But yeah. This has been done. Someone's let something slip to the press, and the press, once they've got the bone, they're going to just fucking run with it and just help everyone do some proper investigating. And this is all getting reported now, just in time.
So we shall see. Again, the campaigning is really important, but this is the kind of data that we really need to be able to move forward in terms of convince people to vote. That's really, really important. It's not just these really interesting figures that caught my eye, especially given the fact that Labour were losing 1,700 councillors. And you know what? They deserve it, in most cases. It's not just the number of seats broadly across the country that they're going to be winning. There's also been some really interesting polling done for the New Statesman as well as More in Common. Apparently, if these stats are to be believed, 50% of people who live in London are considering voting for the Green Party. 50%. That probably will end up turning in around 30% or so. You can't really expect more than 60% of the people who consider to vote for you are going to vote for you, but that's a crazy number. In a five-way split, a 30% average vote, if that's above the Labour Party, means broadly a plurality of council seats within all of the London boroughs that are up for election. Genuinely eye-watering stuff, I can imagine, if you're a Labour Party strategist. 50%. Again, this is why we need to campaign. It's not just people who already want to vote for us who are voting for us. People are considering doing so as well, and those are the people that we need to reach out to. We can't just stop now. We have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Could there be a Green Mayor in 2028? Absolutely, potentially. I mean, I don't think Sadiq Khan is likely to be ousted if he does run again, but if he doesn't, anything could potentially happen. London could wake up to a sea of green on the morning of the 8th of May if current voting projections are to be believed. According to new polling by Ipsos, and shared exclusively with the New Statesman, around half of Londoners overall are considering voting for Zach Polanski's Green Party on the 7th of May. The threat the Greens pose to Labour in the battle for the progressive left is alive and kicking. Just a few weeks' time, the Green Party hopes to overturn Labour incumbency in Hackney, Harringay and Newham. Now, Ipsos' April data shows the Green Party sitting just 2 points behind Labour. Polanski's renegade party, the Renegades of Funk apparently, is thought to be able to win over 1 in 5 2025 Labour voters. That's rookie numbers. We need to bump those numbers up, chat. I mean, again, there's still time to overturn those 2 points, and again, since that polling was done, we've had all the Mandelson stuff, so we shall see. We shall see. The Gorton and Denton by-election, in which the Green Party's Hannah Spencer won a 4,000 vote majority, has changed the narrative. No longer the Green Party seen by voters as a wasted vote. This is important going into the May elections. The Green Party now has the potential to steal Labour's base among progressive city-dwelling graduates. Could they be about to become the reform of the left? I mean, I think that's basically been the case for quite a while, that they were going to be the reform of the left. I don't think the side of, broadly left independent media, people really knew this was going to happen. I had faith. I had faith, chat, that we could do it. I
No
had
problem,
faith.
my dear.
You know me, I've been banging on about this shit since 2022. 2023? 2023. I've been banging on about this stuff, so... However, it could be easy to overstate the Green surge. The party's stratospheric rise in popularity since Polanski's election in 2025 saw it break 20% in the polls, sitting second in place to Reform, shortly after the Gorton and Denton by-election. But there are some caveats. As Ipsos' polling showed, the party remains less popular among voters over 55. Just 25% said they would consider voting Green. The Greens have got potential, Pedley said, but there's a bit of a ceiling. They've got a way to go with older voters. Part of that is a values thing. This makes sense. Yep, I have basically said that this has always been the case, which is that there's a generational divide as always. Polanski has, since he was elected, pitched himself as a politician for millennials and Gen Z. He makes TikToks, appears in club nights and starts his own podcast. The Greens' core values align with those younger voters too. Polanski has said he wants to end rip-off Britain and is unapologetically pro-migration. And it has had results. Ipsos' polling shows that 6 in 10 voters under 35 are now considering voting for the Green Party in the 7th of May elections. So, I mean, the reality it comes down to is that, again, this is an underserved demographic of young people, and during times of political fragmentation, it's actually really important to find a very specific demographic of voters and heavily target them. When we go back towards two-party politics again, sure, you'll want to be able to broaden your appeal. You'll want to be able to win over people outside of that particular demographic once you've found your base. But the time now is to peel off the base and win very heavily there so that you can reach out from there. You achieve the fragmentation first. You want to sow the seeds of fragmentation to find your base to then capitalise later. I think, quite frankly, at the moment, it is fine. It is fine to only win over younger voters, target these younger voters, again, at a time in which we see voting constituencies with large demographic changes between cities and rural areas. Actually, appealing to both generations will only get you so far until you reach a certain point in the first past the polling averages. Polling incredibly heavily with young people will win you lots and lots of individual city seats because you're appealing to certain sections of the public that live there. Because you don't need to win a majority everywhere, you just need to win enough votes in the right places. That involves targeting. That's target to win. That is about not having a shallow base of support, you have a deep base of support in certain areas, and you use that as a bridgehead to move forward. And hopefully, that bridgehead will lead to electoral reform, because we can't fucking cope with five-pie politics under first past the post. It's going to be a very stupid election if that happens. Surely appealing to the young also has the longest payoff. Also very true. Also very, very true. You've been watching a clip from one of my live streams. I do them 5 days a week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell down below to be ensured that you get notified whenever I post new videos, and indeed when I go live as well. If you want to support the channel in a more long-term fashion, you can hit the join button down below to become a member. It's 99p and cheaper than a can of Red Stripe. And if you want to become a long-term supporter, you can also do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/NoJusticeMTG. I'll see you on the next one.
Right. No. Done. Will the Green Party destroy London's Labour Mafia? That's quite a headline. Fuck it.
In the last 20 months, Keir Starmer has been attacked by the opposition, the public, his own members, his own MPs, and even the leader of Scottish Labour, Anna Sarwar. This latest development in the Mandelson saga, however, seems to have lost the last of the bastions of Starmer's loyal foot soldiers, the compliant centrist media darlings who treated him as an antidote to Tory chaos and ignored all of the left's evidence of his corruption and dishonesty. Journalist Otto English, for example, famously tweeted out the now pilloried sentence, "It's nice, isn't it, the quiet," upon Starmer assuming office, now comparing the current scandal to something from satirical comedy Yes Minister. But if there's one man who consistently stuck his neck for brave Sir Keir time and time again, both in the run-up to the election and in the months of scandal and chaos that followed it, it is the king of the sensibles, James O'Brien. He calls himself a sensible, by the way. Now, even O'Brien has to concede that there is essentially no defence left for the beleaguered Prime Minister.
It was almost the only thing left in Keir Starmer's locker that you thought you could rely on. His commitment to and observance of process. The idea when we engaged in muted celebration that 14 years of nation-shredding government appeared to be in retreat, the idea that this would signal a period not of perfection, but of at least an end to the kind of corruption, the perception of corruption, the dishonesty, the perceptions of dishonesty, the ludicrous finagling and reverse ferreting and excusing and explaining, just the simple idea, perhaps in retrospect naive, that we would go back to a system where things were mostly transparent and largely dealt with honestly. I feel profoundly let down on this particular issue because it's really hard to see any justification for what has happened.
It sounds so deflated and pathetic. It's really quite funny. But like when he's out here saying, "Oh, well, you thought that he would just be this bastion of honesty and we'd get rid of all of the dishonesty." We told you. We told you, James. We continually told you about all the lies, all the broken pledges, just even lies about even like basic stuff you even need to lie about, like him pretending that he'd never called Jeremy Corbyn a friend as well as a colleague, things that were on video. so many things just on video, positions that he held before that not only did he not hold now, he claimed that he never held to begin with, that just get rewritten by his time being Labour leader. It was so obvious to anyone paying like even a small amount of attention that this man continually engaged in dishonesty, but not dishonesty kind of opportunistically. It was a project built upon subterfuge. It was a project built upon dishonesty from the beginning. And it was constantly relayed over and over and over again on this show, on my personal show, the left more broadly, on social media, whether it be on TikTok or Twitter or on YouTube. Plenty of creators on the left were putting forward the case for Keir Starmer's consistent pattern of dishonesty. But of course, it was totally gone completely unnoticed by people like James O'Brien, who continue to have this facsimile of Keir Starmer in their head.
Oh, there we go. It's probably Sorcerer. Does start with an S. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi guys, she's back, and once again she delivered a powerful speech in the House of Commons. Now you will find clips of this online, but I wanted to show you the speech in its entirety because I think it's really important. Now Sarka Eastwood touched on a number of things here, the disconnect between the problems faced by ordinary people and the priorities of parliamentarians, the disaster of the appointment of Peter Mandelson, and she had a very powerful message also for the Prime Minister. Have a listen to this.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and indeed, as others have already said, you almost feel like everything has been said at this point, but one thing that strikes me in all of this is that this is called the House of Commons. Our job is to come here and represent the common person. And it is so far removed from the common person, this entire debate. As I said last night, if one of my constituents in Lagan Valley is accidentally overpaid on a benefit, that's clawed back.
Lagan. Nice one.
No matter the cost to that person, the human cost, that's clawed back right away. No questions asked, no special circumstances, and we see that writ large across our public life. And the reason being is because we said that we valued a rules-based, ordered system. We wanted a society that was fair, and we valued integrity, and we valued trust.
Oh, look at it! We've got Liz Saville Roberts for Plaid Cymru, and we've got Dr. Ellie for the Greens. Oh my God, is that the man? Look, Jam Man in the corner. Hi, Jezza. Couple of Lib Dems. None of the reform wankery. Where the fuck are they?
But more importantly, we wanted to understand that the people that came to this house were going to act in a way that was beyond reproach. That was going to act in a way that they expected everyone else across the UK to behave. Now I have a guy, disabled, accidentally parked in a parking space, didn't have his blue badge displayed, and he's getting hammered. He's getting hammered. Maybe he'll get off, who knows. But we are dealing with a situation where the Prime Minister of the day is now saying that he regrets the appointment of Mandelson. And I'm not going to get into the whys and wherefores of DV and strap and CTC and everything else, because my people in Lagan Valley don't know what that means. And a lot of people are banking on the ordinary man and woman on the street not to know what that means, and to stop being curious, and to suspend their expectations, because this is all highfalutin serious stuff and we don't really know what that is. Maybe they did do right, maybe they didn't do right, because they're bamboozled. But I'm going to break it down for them. I would say this to the Prime Minister. What was it about the twice disgraced, paedophile-adjacent, self-styled Prince of Darkness that you found so attractive to put into this plum job, not just of government, but of the United Kingdom on the world stage? What was it, Prime Minister, that appealed to you about Peter Mandelson? We still do.
Fired twice. Fired. They seem to be saying resign. No. Bad press, bad media. You're sacked. Gordon Brown didn't like him. Had to be fired twice. This is all just Labour Together's doing, by the way.
Have the answer.
No.
We still don't have the answer.
No.
But all I know is that my constituents are disgusted with all of this.
Yeah.
And this isn't the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time. It has been going round in a merry-go-round no matter who it is. And I'm really glad that the member for Liverpool West Derby is in the chamber, because he has worked tirelessly to make sure that issues at the nub of this, the duty of candour, the obligation to be honest with the public, let alone your colleagues and the entire administration. And yet we're telling families that they can't access documents for another 100 years due to technicality? How am I making that make sense to them? And I am indignant, and I am outraged. And a lot of people in this building are expecting us to no longer be outraged. We'll be outraged. Because if we can't prove that this works, we know he's going to step into the shadows. We know he's going to be out there setting the algorithms. We know who is going to be preying on the carcass of what was a once great democracy. And we've seen other democracies fail. Let's not fool ourselves that the UK is immune from this. And the number one thing we can do within our gift is to show that we still value integrity. And for those reasons, there is not a single excuse that this government can come up with that I can sell to my constituents or myself that I will believe. And for those reasons, I believe that the Prime Minister needs to go, not just for his own party, but more importantly, for the sake of the country.
Brilliant speech, brilliant speech. Now, I want to respond to some of the things she mentioned here because I think it's really, really important. She talked here about how the House of Commons it's meant to be for the common people. People are vote for parliamentarians to represent them, to represent their concerns, and it's no longer that. I mentioned before how parliamentarian after parliamentarian, MP after MP would stand up in the House of Commons and talk about how Nigel Farage was debanked. You know, that was the priority of some people within the House of Commons. Oh, we need to stand shoulder to shoulder with Nigel Farage.
He wasn't debanked, he wasn't blocked from opening an account. He was relegated, if you wish to use football parlance. So footballification of politics continues, just like James would want us to do. Give right, James. So yeah, he didn't get debanked. The account that he had, there are certain limits. You have to pay this amount in, you have to open it with this amount, you have to pay in from certain things. So there's a minimum level that you have to pay into that type of account to maintain it, so you still have access to it. And he slipped below that threshold, that level, and he became a pro like the rest of us to use just a normal current account. And he started shouting and swearing, then I've been debanked, I've been blocked, blah blah blah. No, you haven't. There are certain things, certain conditions to get that kind of bank account, Nigel. And you dropped below them. Quit your whining. Debanked, behave yourself. Yeah. Still certain requirements for the account that he did get, that he dropped down to. By the way, he's back up now to that account that he said he got blocked or he debanked for. He said, no, you have to put in a certain amount of money. You have to do certain things to maintain that account. I don't get access to that account. I don't make millions. I don't pay millions into a bank account. I pay like a few hundred a month for my benefit. And something between like £60 and £100 from my Twitch payout a month. Better than a kick in the teeth. I'm nowhere near those kind of bank accounts. Your return. Hello, my dear. Welcome back.
The absurdity of it. When as there are real problems facing ordinary people that are being ignored.
Tuesday for me.
She talked
Tuesday.
rightly how if somebody was overpaid on a benefit, in the sense that, you know, on universal credit or some other benefit, if they were overpaid, the DWP would go after them and get that money back as soon as possible. The priority is to punish ordinary people and leave the rich and the powerful alone. That's the priority of politics, it seems. Completely correct there as well. And the example of the disabled man who didn't have his blue badge at the time. Look, of course we all have to follow the rules. But it's one set of rules for ordinary people, another set of rules for the rich and famous, the rich and powerful. Why is Parliament spending more time on issues like this than the issues of ordinary people? And she rightly called out the Prime Minister, asking, why did you appoint this guy? What was the value in appointing Peter Mandelson, somebody associated with Epstein, somebody associated with corruption in the past, a guy who was sacked twice? What was the value in that? Why was it so important? I've asked this question before in other videos. Why was Peter Mandelson appointed before a vetting process? Can you think of any other situation where somebody would be appointed to a job before an interview, before they're meant to present their qualifications?
Yeah.
I can't think of any other situation. But in politics, that's normal, it seems. That needs to change. People should be appointed based on merit, and that merit needs to be determined. She explained what's going on.
I don't like meritocracy.
In simple terms to people. Your priorities, the priorities of ordinary people, the priorities of her constituents, come second to the priorities of the government, it seems. And the government's priorities at the moment is we need to protect the Prime Minister. We need to ignore the concerns people had with Peter Mandelson. Once again, it's this cabal within Number 10. Morgan McSweeney, Blue Labour, these individuals who are more interested in seeing Peter Mandelson become ambassador to the United States than having somebody who could actually do the job, somebody who would do a good job. What was the motivation? Officially, the motivation was, well, he's the Donald Trump whisperer, but in reality, it seems it was a job for the boys. You know, we're all friends here. We help each other out. We put our friends into positions of power, good, well-paying jobs. When Peter Mandelson.
Because the people above Stammer in the shadows ordered him to appoint Mandy. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, essentially. Months ago. Fuck it. Let's look at this one.
Elections in Scotland are less than a month away. A Sky News exclusive poll from YouGov revealed their projection for who could win. Let's just look at the baseline from 2021, the last Scottish Parliament elections. Lots of SNP yellow. You can see the totals over here of the 129 seats, some using regional lists, some using constituencies. Here's what it all totaled up to be, and there is the situation from last time. 64 yellow, SNP making them the largest party. Stand by, because we're about to see what the situation would be today under our massive new polling MRP projection from YouGov. And here it is. An overall majority for the SNP. You can see all the yellow here. John Swinney back as First Minister. Reform UK, they got 0.2% of the vote share 5 years ago. They get 20 seats and become the official opposition. Labour third on 15, not winning any of the constituency type of seat at all. The Conservatives falling to the lowest vote share for their party ever, down 24 seats, and solid advances for the Greens and the Lib Dems, up 2 and 5 respectively. Even within the margin of error, it's huge. And here's the context. This that you can see in front of you is every single Scottish Parliament election since its creation in 1999. And you can see it used to be Labour's fiefdom. This poll actually shows the SNP topping.
No. See, look. There's the first two. They needed the Lib Dems to get over the line. The first two Holyrood administrations was a Labour Lib Dem coalition government. God almighty, look at it. Sock now! Rejoice, comrades. Sock now in the chat. Hello. Oh look, something changed between here and the S&P have been rising. Yes. I did indeed, yeah. You're right. We can talk about that later if you want, okay? Yeah, the first two Holyrood administrations were Labour Lib Dem because they couldn't get to the fucking majority. We were starting to get pissed off with them. We're starting to get fed up with them, really. So they got, hang on if I can work this out, like 50, then they dropped down to 38, and they needed the Lib Dems who were just enough to get them over the line. Yeah. Alright.
Labour's fiefdom. This poll actually shows the SNP topping the poll for the 5th consecutive time with an SNP First Minister. That's rare in democracies, full stop, and it's the first time that they'll have had an overall majority, the SNP, since 2011. So you can see Labour treating its fiefdom, but you can also, back 20 years ago, but you can see how the Labour vote has shrunk, and this here, it's the smallest number of seats that they've ever returned. Now, SNP outright victory that we're seeing in this poll is remarkable, given it was only 3 years ago that the police raided the party's headquarters over its finances, and the party's one-time CEO, estranged husband of Nicola Sturgeon, is facing charges of embezzlement. All that while they churned through 3 First Ministers in one Parliament. Almost 2 years ago, it seemed like Labour were going to be the beneficiaries of SNP's drive. And most people assumed that this man, Anas Sarwar, was on course to be First Minister. So this is when it was going well. In the 2024 general election, Labour won 4 times as many seats as the SNP, with 35% of the vote. But that was the high point for Labour, and from the moment Keir Starmer entered number 10, that went down and down.
Okay.
Now this polling projection has Labour's vote share barely half that. What next? And the biggest question for Scotland. John Swinney says that this vote could give a mandate for independence. So let's look at what the Scottish Parliament would look on that question. Here are the separatist parties in favour of independence. 78.
Fuck off. Stop calling us separatists. Stop it. Bad. Not separatists. We were our own country before the union of the parliaments and union of the crowns. Separatists is kind of badass. Yeah, but what they mean by separatists, they mean terrorists, extremists. People to be shunned, reviled.
Seats under this projection of the 129. 51 would go to unionist parties. 78 seats for pro-independence parties is the most in any Holyrood election to date. The 2014 independence referendum changed politics in Scotland profoundly. The biggest debate in that country still hasn't gone away.
Are they looking at the same? No, Daily Record, you're whack. That stone was up here first. People kept on trying to nick it back when they took it down. And it's meant to go back to my area, up to Perthshire, is where it's at. In Scone Palace. It's in the museum in Edinburgh. Yeah, a lot of the time when people say separatists, they mean like terrorism, violent adjacent people, essentially, that were doing some sort of vandalism. No, we just want our country back. Thanks. It's not that difficult to understand. We're fucking fed up he is. Yeah. In the US you have separate, but they aren't violent person. Yeah. What is Ruth the Myth saying?
It could be quite a messy election next year in Scotland.
This is from Marianne. She says, just listening to Keir Starmer talk about what they've delivered in the first year, and almost every single achievement relates to only England and or Wales. NHS, education are devolved issues.
Yeah.
Does this put Scottish Labour on the back foot for the Scottish elections? Ruth, you can start, but I reckon Harriet might have a point of view too.
I think she will.
She does, she's nodding.
When Keir Starmer is saying, look at the good things we've done, for example, getting waiting lists down in England, that's not because it doesn't matter about waiting lists in Scotland. It's to show in England, where Labour is running things, waiting.
Yeah, I'd want you to get that back as well, Reza. Sorry about that. I do apologise, much profusely. Carry on.
Are coming down, but in Scotland, where they're being run by the SNP, things are staying very bad indeed.
The Scottish Labour leader, Anas Sarwar, there was a period where his popularity peaked and he was eclipsing the SNP, and he's having a much tougher time having his entire political leadership been able to rail against the SNP in Holyrood and the Tories in London. He's now having to defend or decide where he wants to put sort of clear blue water between his devolved policies and what Keir Starmer is doing and explain why they're different. Anas is going to have to be fleet of foot. And one of the things that's really interesting about Holyrood and the way it works is that up until now it's always been a 5-party parliament run along the additional member system, which is a form of proportional representation. If Reform do well, it'll become a 6-party parliament, makes it almost impossible to be a majority government. And in all of the parliaments that we've had since 1999, there's only been one majority government. They've always either been minority or coalition. And it's where do these alliances happen, and therefore what does the policy platform become, and who will do deals with others, because there's a lot of parties in there who are avowedly unwilling to deal with particular other parties that have already counted each other out from forming a coalition. So it could be quite a messy election next year in Scotland.
This is from...
Right, for the Greens, I had the Lorna and Patrick. It's not that anymore. It's Ross and Gillian. They won the election. I voted for both of them. It feels so good to get what you vote for, to get what you voted for. It's brilliant. Love it. I love Ross and Gillian. They're doing a fantastic job of reaching out and inspiring the Scottish electorate. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hang on a minute while I put on my socks. My tootsies are getting cold. I don't know how though. For anyone interested, Raynaud's phenomenon. If you can make sense of it, please come back and tell me how. Do. Fuck it, man frog. Let's see what the wank has to say, shall we?
You're not going to lead Reform into the Scottish election next year.
I'm not standing for the Scottish Parliament, no.
But you're not going to lead the campaign, so you're not going to take part in the debates.
We will, of course, have a leader of our group, who will go in as leader of the group and be a potential, First Minister. So yes, of course. But hey, you know what? As I've explained before, and I did a similar thing when I was in Aberdeen the other day, we are a work in progress. We're growing. We're probably an advanced teenager now. We haven't got to full maturity as a political party. And as I said a moment ago, we had 200 candidates over the weekend being interviewed. We're going to put out what you'll see from us is a list of candidates representing every aspect of life, with broad experience of many, many fields, and from within that.
Some of the candidates have had to step aside, step down already, and not when ballot has been cast. We're up to 6, by the way, of their candidates. Because of this fucking man frog, the Overton window here in the UK has shifted decidedly to the right. I am pissed off. Obviously I'm going to be pissed off no matter what, but Marxist and eco-socialist. Yes, so far from me it is unbelievable. Yeah. Fucking con artist. He's a Thatcher, he's a neo-lib or a neocon. And some of the candidates they've been putting in place up here, neocons. Not quite white supremacists, but damn fucking close to it. We do not usually breed these kinds of people, for fuck's sake. This is what happens when neo-lib, like your centrist or the centre-right sort of parties, get scared and they start chasing these people because they're seen as as an electoral threat. They see the numbers growing in favour of these kind of policies that this creature proposes. Then it's just a race to the right. Rages me till the end how he's managed to make people vote for me. Yeah. I will shout it from the rooftops. This man is a fucking Thatcherite. He loved the mini budget. He wants to take away the NHS. He's a despicable snake oil salesman who should not be involved in our politics. Just point. Fuck off, Nigel.
Number, there will be a leader as we go into the elections.
And you're not going to lead reform into the Scottish election next year?
I'm not standing for the Scottish Parliament, no.
But you're not going to lead the campaign?
English imperialist. Yeah. Of course he wasn't going to put himself forward for a seat, any constituency up here in Scotland. Most of us don't fucking like the bastard. Be a quick and easy way not to get any representation at all.
I've come for three reasons. First of all, promises have been made and broken for 11 years to give the Highlands better, safer dual roads, the A9 and the A96. They've been broken. And if you or I do something wrong in our lives, we say, I'm very sorry, but I'll sort it out. But instead of that recognition that there's been a mistake, there's been none at all. Instead of humility, there's been hubris, and honesty, denial. And secondly, the party has used to champion people, are excellent workers in the oil and gas sector and in the rural economy, farmers, fishermen, fish farmers. Now at best they give lukewarm support, and at worst they take money away from them and give them to other causes. And thirdly, and maybe this is the most important of all, many people are scunnered by governments in Edinburgh and London and let down by the Parliament that they still very much support. I would like to see us getting back to the best in the Scottish Parliament under Donald Dewar or Alex Salmond, for example, where parties worked more together and acted like grown-ups. We came of age a long time ago. It's now time, like adults, to work together for the good of the country. I've come for three reasons. First of all,
I'm sorry you're feeling slightly disillusioned, Fergus. I am. He more than likely still supports independence. He was in the SNP for decades. I feel for you, my dude. I really do. Fuck it, let's check him out. Grado goes to Hollywood. Hopefully that'll get me straight to him. Grado goes to Hollywood. It's a top result. 2 days ago. So who have we got? Russell, Anas, John again.
Have you had the phone call off somebody going, Regan, time up? I'm going to reform, I'm making the move.
Most of them don't phone you.
Do they know?
Nah.
Patchy? Ghost you?
Most of them just do it.
Hang on, right. View the list. View the playlist. Let's just see how long this is. 48 minutes. Let's see how much I can get through. Starting off with the Scottish Tory leader, Russell Finlay.
Have you had the phone call off somebody going, Regan, time up? I'm going to reform, I'm making the move.
Most of them don't phone you.
Do they know?
Nah.
Patchy? Ghost you?
Most of them just do it.
Right.
It's quite cowardly.
Do you then send them a text and go...
They're dead to me.
Do you?
Yeah. Nah.
You don't even send them a text, no?
I don't. I wouldn't want to. Why would I waste my time? Because the ones that have gone, it's almost always for self-opportunity. You shouldn't be defecting just because things might look favourable elsewhere. The grass is greener potentially. You know, you stick with it. That's my view. Loyalty is fundamentally important.
Tory alert, Tory alert. I mean, up here, Scotland, to some folk, Tory's a swear word.
It is. It's an ultimate four-letter word.
Easy. No, I'm not saying anything when you're sitting talking and boring me.
I didn't plan to become the Tory leader.
Right.
Nobody plans to become the Tory leader. If John Swinney's returned to Butte House, then that's not good for Scotland. I think I'd actually said I'm Scott McTominay's kitchen. Io sono di cucina. The cucina to Scott McTominay. Twee self-righteous, pathetic group of people.
Do you think some folk hate you?
Yeah.
I don't know the man. I don't know enough about him to hate him. I don't like his policies. I despise his party. You have to remember Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party. There should be no such thing as the United Kingdom, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure he's a delightful human being, I guess. But he's a Tory.
Yeah. The life's not a popularity contest.
Oh, you! Welcome to Grado Goes to Holyrood. No, not that Holyrood. This Holyrood.
Russell Finlay, it's yourself.
Hello.
What are you having?
A pint of something.
Pint of something?
Yeah.
Pint of lager?
Maybe a lager, maybe an IPA.
An IPA? You know that, carry on. Right, okay, can we get a pint of lager? 2 pints of lager. Cheers. Are we there with cheers then?
Yeah.
We'll go for it.
Right.
Now you're talking.
Cheers.
That is good, isn't it? Look at that.
Attendance, is it?
It's no. I don't know what it is, but the guy said, the first thing he said was, we don't have tenants. And then he started rhyming off all these beer brands that I don't really know.
I think he said that because you're from Glasgow.
What do you mean?
Because they think that, because see in the office, everybody was, when we say your name, the people from the east don't know who you are.
That's annoying.
Isn't it? Well, not,
well,
not
first of all, I'm
universally,
not. First of all,
universally, but
no.
you know, more in the west. Everyone gets excited from the west because you're like, you know, grade A.
What, they don't get tellies in East?
I think that may be it. There's people in the borders who probably don't have tellies. Who don't know you are.
I think, but also not. But also, I'm not even Glasgow. I'm Ayrshire.
Ah, right, okay. Well, west, you know.
I'm trying to get bigger in the East.
Yeah.
That is.
Fucking hell. Davinia. Yeah. Round of applause for Davinia. Fucking hell. Yes, he is. a Scottish lister.
It's one of my big plans for the years to get bigger in the East.
That's one of my big plans too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well,
you want to get bigger across Scotland.
Is that what you want to do?
Aye.
See, before we get into all that, I don't know a lot about you, right? However, in the last couple of days, I've been looking you up. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Okay.
We've never met. Tell me about yourself. We're sitting getting a wee blether.
Right, okay.
Go.
Well, some early 50s. I know, don't look it.
Is it here?
I spent 25, 30 years as a journalist. In that time, I kept my head down. I did quite a lot of reporting on organised crime, so I knew it would be sensible not to have my...
STV, for anyone that's interested, yeah, he was a journalist, a correspondent. So yeah, he was part of the mainstream media. Explains a lot about his stances, the policy proposals he puts forward.
Face in the public domain, and then about 10 years ago I was subject of an attack which was quite extreme, but I was very, very fortunate, and I realised that hiding away wasn't effective. I then, following that, there was a lot of upheaval, and I suppose I got thinking about what else I could potentially do. I continued working as a journalist. I still kept my head down, but I was tentatively exploring how to get into politics. I looked at, instinctively, I'm conservative, and I could see like most people, you shout at the TV when you're watching Question Time or you see the news, and like a lot of people, you think I could do something about that. And I suppose a lot of journalists are motivated by maybe trying to change the world, so politics is similar, I guess.
So, when did you realise you were a Tory?
I'd pretty much always, well, for years I wasn't even in the voters' roll because I didn't want to be too easily found by criminals, but...
Right, hold on, let's just get into the acid attack. I mean, I'm looking at you, right? When I met you, you walked in, I thought, you know what the first thing I thought was?
He's good looking.
No, I mean, you're handsome, but you're a big old boy. Aren't you? You're a big old boy. Look at what height are you?
About 6'3", I think.
6'3". And so you're a criminal journalist. It's Christmas time. You answer the door. Tell us what happened with that.
Right, so that about 2 days before Christmas.
Aye.
So you know the postman comes to your door quite a bit with stuff.
Parcels, it's Christmas time.
And I'd actually just got a new front door put in. The old one was falling to bits, and the old one had a peephole. So had I looked through that, I'd have seen a postman and opened the door fully. But the new one's got the kind of frosted glass on it, so you can just see a vague shape, right? And I didn't know who's behind the door, so I opened it a little bit. And the guy said he was a postman. He's dressed like Postman Pat. He's got the jacket on. He's got the bag.
Wow.
He's got the full kit. And he said, "Sign this," and he handed through a Royal Mail delivery card.
So he's legit. You look legit.
So I lean to the side to sign the thing, and that's when you feel this splash of liquid in the side of my face, in the right hand side of my face, followed immediately by the guy coming through the door at me. What I didn't know then, I knew obviously immediately, instinctively, this is very serious and very wrong. But what I didn't see at the time was he also was in possession of a knife. So I think the intent was to what is referred to as a splash and stab. But he's dropped a knife. My 10-year-old daughter was in her bed, first day of the school holidays before Christmas. She comes running downstairs to see me, by this point falling out the door.
Did you get a hold of him?
Well,
he
came at me and I pushed back, and then I think we both tripped over the threshold of the door and fallen onto like a monoblock driveway.
Yeah.
And I've got bare feet and I'm wearing
your jammies.
A pair of jammy bottoms, you know.
As you do.
Yeah. So, and he's dressed up Postman Pat in a sense. And then my daughter came. I mean, I know it's
not funny.
I get told off for sometimes not taking it seriously enough, but it was very serious. And my daughter came downstairs, 10 years old, to see me rolling about and a lot of noise and commotion. She raised the alarm with neighbours. I was on top of them. They came out, kept them in place. I get water on my face very, very quickly, which meant that my skin was fine. My eye was. It took a few months, but it eventually was fine. And then the police came, put me in a van, and that's when I saw the knife, and he got jailed.
Wow.
So
your daughter's what, 10-year-old at the time?
Aye, yeah.
So she's technically, so she ran to get help. She's the real hero, really.
Yeah, completely.
Because if she never went there, who knows what could happen?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guy had a getaway driver watching this unfold.
Did he?
And the getaway driver did get away, but without the hitman, which wasn't the greatest.
That wasn't the plan.
No.
So then, I mean, did your daughter then have to become involved in like the criminal proceedings and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was horrific because
that's horrible.
You know, as a journalist, I knew how bad the justice system is for victims, and the last thing you want to do is expose your own child to that. And she did give evidence, and it was done in a sort of particular way to protect her because she's only a kid. But the way I describe it to her, that people expect that I ought to be sort of shell-shocked and traumatised, and I'm not being dismissive of it. It was deadly serious. It could have ended very, very badly, but actually it was everything that could have gone right went right. And you know, my daughter at that age, you know, the movie Home Alone, where you've got these idiotic bungling criminals, and the kid wins and the
Sticky
baddies.
bandits.
Aye, and and it doesn't help. I mean, you know, so that's the way I look at it. That she saw that in the moment the goodies won, the baddies get caught.
Do you watch Home Alone together at Christmas?
I said something. But Elf's the number one.
Right, Elf's number one.
Elf,
I was going to say.
Breaking news, Elf's not only the number one Christmas movie, Elf's the top movie ever.
So let's talk about, of course you're a journalist, highly respected. I've got to say as well, I nearly bought your book.
All right.
I never bought it.
I heard the nearly.
Mate, I'll tell you what I was surprised at. 5-star reviews.
Oh, right,
I mean, there was not one bad review.
All right.
Right, so what?
Was that the Acid Attack book or the other ones?
Oh, you get more than one book? I didn't know.
Three
Oh, you get 3.5 books? I was
Yeah.
reading the one, I think it was to do with the acid attack.
Right.
That was your top one.
Right.
And I'm reading the reviews and I'm going, why does this guy want to become a Tory politician if he's writing these books successful, he's doing well, and then you go, Kim, I want to be a Tory leader.
So I didn't plan to become the Tory leader.
Right.
Nobody plans to become the Tory leader.
But surely do you not get into this one to be the First Minister?
Well, you get into it. I mean, I had no ambition beyond getting into Parliament and thinking I could potentially make a difference, possibly around criminal justice, because I knew that subject quite well. You don't. I think if you start getting ahead of yourselves and thinking you'll be the leader or you're going to be the First Minister, you know, you get into it on the basis of what's realistic in the moment.
You put.
Okay, right. Acid attack on it. Right, he's a journalist. Fine. He covered crime and things of that nature, especially organised crime. I went and checked. Okay, bad, not good. Poor wee lass getting exposed to that, seeing her dad getting attacked like that. I feel for the wee lassie, and his eye does look kinda, depending on what acid it was, yeah, you'd get it cleaned off quickly. Now, if it was hydrofluoric acid, it would have melted his skin quite quickly. But getting your hands on hydrofluoric acid is rather difficult. The easiest one to get is technically we ingest an acid, vinegar. But the one more likely that it's easier to get your hands on is hydrochloric, which is the stomach acid. That's our stomach acid essentially. So hydrofluoric or sulfuric acid are difficult to get your hands on because they're fucking deeply dangerous. Carboxylic maybe? That would do more damage inside than out. Right, I feel for it. Sorry, right, Russell, right. Okay. I'll park your politics aside for a minute here. Not good. Acid attack. Going through that, writing about it, saying what happened and shit like that, going through the whole process. Yeah, but it's parties like yours that have defunded the country. Ours, the criminal justice system isn't as bogged down up here, don't get me wrong, it still needs to move a little bit faster. There's still some fixes that can be made to how it works. Some legislation is needed in certain areas. They wanted to get rid of corroboration for certain violent attacks on people, sexual attacks essentially. Alejon, hello. SNP 68, Greens 18, fucking yes. Reform 15, Labour 10, Lib Dem 10, Tories down to the 8. Oh, Russell. Oh, it's the hell site. Stats for lefties. Thank you, Alejon. Thank you. I like that. I like that. Pro Indy seats 86. Get in there. Loving it.
In mind of that Stephen Presley interview when he get hired as a Dundee manager, and he went, I mean, if you're wanting a manager that wins championships and titles, I'm no your man. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting off you.
Right, what do you mean?
Like, surely you want you're kind of going to.
Because Stephen Presley is a realist. He knows exactly what you had to work with. Oh well. Certain football teams are a poison chalice. No one wants that fucking job. And I didn't blame them.
Listen, well, when the leadership gig opened up, you know, I had to think long and hard about whether I wanted to do it. Because if I was going to do it, I wanted to be as effective as I could possibly be.
Yeah.
There's no point in getting into that half-hearted.
Aye.
And that's been, what, just over a year and a half. And I'm under no illusions. It is probably
Hi,
one
Talia.
of the most difficult jobs around.
Well, I mean, you made a joke about it when you came in. You went, Tory alert, Tory alert. I mean, up here, Scotland, let's face it, to some folk, a lot of folk, maybe a majority in some places, Tory's a swear word.
It is. It's an ultimate four-letter word, but actually in Scotland, I think there's a counter-argument that being a Conservative...
You said it, Russell, no me.
First of all, there's a lot of people who are actually Conservative if they stop and thought about it. If they thought about their values and what our party represents,
they would be
they'd be Tories. Well, there's been a very effective operation of turning our party into being beyond the pale and unacceptable. But actually, if people thought about
your party is populated by fools, villains and ghouls and other right-wing assorted fuckwittery, especially down in Westminster. You're mostly all neo-libs. Some of you are fucking neocon, far to the right of where I sit on the political spectrum. Just neo. The policies that your party promotes, either up here in Scotland or UK wide, no, hate them, horrible policies, get fucked. We did used to vote Tories in back in the 50s here in Glasgow. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. That Reza, I feel for you. I really do. Ugh. At least Newcastle and Southfields showing the way. You just need to point at the 10 councils they already run. They're a fucking clown show.
a bit more, they would see that we do represent their interests. And also, I think that in Scotland, being a Tory is actually slightly anti-establishment. You know, we are probably considered to be the ultimate party of the establishment, but in Scotland, it's actually Labour for half a century who dominated, who ran Civic Scotland. It was their fiefdom, and very quickly that collapsed, and the SNP have filled that void in much the same way. And actually, to be a strong and effective opposition politician in Scotland, we are that party. We have proven that over the past 5 years and beyond.
I mean, I know you weren't a politician, but did you grow up liking the Tories? Was a picture of Maggie Thatcher in the law? Were you a big fan of John Major? No, nothing like that.
I liked watching Spitting Image, right? But,
that was good.
But I wasn't into politics. I wasn't even a political journalist. I know some of the political journalists live and breathe this stuff, and I don't. But I'm obviously, you know, it's my job. But I'm not like that. I don't think. No.
Aye, but it's funny, right? Because you've got Douglas Ross, who was a linesman. Not exactly a well-liked job, is it? No. And then a journalist as well, it's not exactly a well-liked job. And then going to be Tory party leader, it just, I don't know, there's something about it that's like,
if there's any traffic wardens out there, they'll be the next Tory leader.
Of course.
You go through that attack and you're a successful criminal journalists and stuff like that, you then become a Tory. Did you lose any pals?
No. Absolutely not.
No.
I think a few people might have not been surprised, but I think anyone you know from any walk of life that chooses to go into politics, you got to wonder, don't you?
Aye.
But no, I don't. Not in the sense that he's a Tory, therefore. I think people are a bit more grown up about that.
Do you think, see the people that were leaving all the 5-star reviews in their books, do you think if you released it now, you still get 5 stars?
Well, I'm glad to hear that there's still 5-star reviews because I don't look anymore because I was assuming that post becoming a Tory MSP and then the leader, that there might be sort of the keyboard warriors, spamming it, but
no,
fine, good.
There's no. That's what I couldn't believe.
Let's not encourage them.
No, you're right.
There's a flurry of 1-star reviews.
Let's just stop the reviews now. So see, because you obviously, for years and years and years, you're a criminal journalist. You can sniff out the baddies. Do you feel as if you can sniff out the baddies in Holyrood?
Yes.
Can you?
Absolutely.
In what way?
I don't know. I think it's about judgment of people. I think journalism is about people. It's about building trust. It's about communicating. And actually, when you think about it, that's what politics should be about as well. And people might lose sight of that sometimes.
Aye.
And I think, I'm not saying I'm the greatest judge of character, but you do, I think, hopefully have a feel for people. I can tell you're a good guy.
Can you tell that?
Instinctively, yeah.
Can you get that right away? Do you get a good feeling off me?
Yeah.
Aye.
I'm one of these big dogs,
I'm a dog? Hold on, say that again.
Friendly dog.
Oh, a big golden retriever?
Yes.
Aye, I'll take that. If you were a dog, what would you be? What dogs would we be?
I don't know.
Are you a dog lover?
I love dogs, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't have a good relationship with my dog.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Look at you got a dog?
No.
You want one?
I'll
You
take
want
it, aye. Yeah.
Have you got any sort of kind of privilege of being a party leader when it comes to like
You're
healthcare?
about to ask if I've had any medical problems.
No, I was going to. Well, have you?
No, not I know.
Well, you have. You recovered from the old acid attack fairly well.
Privilege? No, you don't.
You don't get any sort of like private healthcare or anything like that. What do you get?
Nothing. Just a warm glow of satisfaction.
No, but surely you get paid all right, you know?
You paid okay, yeah. You paid well. Oh.
Surely you never come into this to make money, did you?
No. I don't think anyone really does.
You think so?
I don't think so, no.
You never kind of came across somebody that you've went, they're getting into politics because they want to make a bit of dough out of it?
I think there's people in there who would, if they weren't in there, would very much struggle to get paid anything. Well, aye. But certainly to get paid what they're getting paid as an MSP. Aye.
They're getting paid.
Don't want to name names, but you know.
Come on. It's not a couple of sips of rain, you'll be.
Too long a list.
If you become First Minister, right, what is it? What would be the first thing that you would do if you became First Minister?
I would let me think about this.
Have you not thought about it? I'm getting the feeling that you don't think that you ever become the First Minister.
Well, look, see, I know that.
Is that weird, me thinking that?
No, look, the polls are what they are, right? You know, we
they ain't good, baby.
No, they are what they are. And I think, do you remember in the general election, a few general elections back, there was a Lib Dem leader who told everyone she was going to be the Prime Minister, and everyone just laughed at her. So what I would say is I would love
I'm not
very
sure
much
who that is,
for Tony
Talia.
one day to become First Minister, because if you look at the 25 plus years of devolution with Labour and the SNP, and I think we'd be a much better bet. I think Scotland's crying out for change, and I don't think whatever the outcome of this election, if John Swinney's return to Butte House, then that's not good for Scotland.
You're polling 6, my dude. You're fucked. He knows he's never going to be First Minister. Don't get me wrong, there's support for them here in Scotland, unfortunately. Yeah, he's never going to be First Minister. I am lagging here. I do apologise, Parcourse and Talia. I'm going to have to read out, I think. My back's not doing too good, and my feet have swelled up to epic proportions again. They're an absolute fucking mess. I'm going to have to see if I can get the swelling down in my feet. I'm so sorry. I'll be back. Is it really good news? Nice one. I'll look him up. Thank you for telling me. Much appreciated, my dear. Oh God, look at the pause face I've put on Grado. Christ. Yeah, let's read out. I'm kinda lagging here. I do apologise. I'm sorry, everyone. I tried to get to the 3 hours each night. Boom. Red channel. Could maybe go and do some clout chasing and is that the leftist mafia? It's the majority of them. We might do some clout chasing. Is going, so's Jester. Oh, Red's going. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Talia. Much appreciated. Let's go and say hi to Red, shall we? We'll leave the clout chasing for another night. Red Rust. Oh, what the hell? Oh! Yay! Right. Pop-ups, fuck off! Red Rust, shall we? Oh, 506 followers, fucking yes. Oh, Dargesh is gone as well. Oh, he's only got about another half hour left, I think. Red? There we go. I will be back later on today. Do not worry.